We're live with Lunch Break Guide. Take it away, Chef Ryan.
Awesome. Hello, everybody. My name is Ryan, and I'm really excited to show you this edamame. And I'm using zucchini. I know it said cucumber, but I'll tell you why I picked zucchini once we get started. So, edamame is really great for plant-based eaters because it's high in protein and it tastes really good. I know for me, one thing I really like is fast. So, you can get this frozen, and we'll just show how to use it frozen. So, everything I'm going to be using, I'm just going to dump into a bowl. Super simple, one bowl recipe, and if you count this pan, for a little bit of extra added love to it. So we'll just dump everything in here. This is about one bag of edamame that's frozen, so it's about 16 ounces or so. And then I have some of these peppers, bell peppers, just chopped up. Really beautiful colors, great for summer. The difference between bell peppers, green are going to be a little bit more bitter, maybe a little bit tart, and the yellow and the red are a little bit sweeter. So if you're eating them for snacking, or like this isn't going to be a lot of cooking, there's actually no cooking to this recipe, which is great. So if you're having it in a raw form, this is a little bit sweeter and you're going to have a little bit better taste depending on your taste buds. So we'll go ahead and add that into our bowl. And I'll use my fingers just to get the extra out because I don't want any bell peppers to be left behind. When you're cooking recipes, one thing to also think of is colors. So how many colors can you get in here? Right now I have 3, so I want to go for more. I need more colors in here. So I'm going to add, this is green, but I browned it, and so we're going to say it's brown. These are the zucchinis. You can use about 1 cup of cucumber or zucchini. The reason I use zucchini is I opened up my freezer, and I don't know if anyone else is like this, but I opened it up and I had found that I put some zucchini that I chopped up in there, and it likely was going to be bad soon, or I bought too much. And I was thinking, what a perfect way to reduce food waste if I use the zucchini instead. So instead of having it raw like cucumbers, I just went ahead and sauteed this because it was frozen and it had a little bit of extra moisture to it. So you can use anything in this recipe. That's one of the reasons why it's so great, is that anything you like, you can add to this recipe. So if you don't like cucumber, you can opt for zucchini instead. Or if you don't like zucchini, maybe you can opt for cucumber or summer squash or something like that, just to get your flavor fix going. So we'll add this in here, and we've got another color. Woohoo! So it's coming along, really, really looking great so far. More colors, of course. We have, or these aren't carrots, but we could use carrots. These are heirloom tomatoes. So heirloom tomatoes are going to be all different kinds of colors, which is really fun. I love using these. There's really not too much of a difference between these and regular tomatoes, but the colors just make it so fun, and eating really should be fun. So if it's something that gets you excited and you like to do it, I always say definitely add it to your plate. So let me just wipe my hands off. I got a little bit of tomato on it. So these are the base ingredients of what the salad is going to be made of. It's a cold salad, perfect for summer. I live in Arizona, so it's getting hot. I think it's around 87 or so today, so this is really great for a summer day. You can take it to potlucks, you can take it to the picnic for a park, or whatever you want to do on a hot day. This is perfect for it. So a little bit of seasoning that we'll add. Cilantro is a good addition, but I accidentally grabbed parsley. But like I was saying, this recipe is so easy to customize that parsley will taste perfectly fine in this recipe. So no worries, no waste. Another tip I just thought of is with this cucumber zucchini combination here, the difference between what they are. I know if you're at the grocery store, sometimes it's hard to tell, like, is this a zucchini or is this a cucumber? And I like to use the term of zucchinis wear little hats because they have a little hat on top of them, and cucumbers have little rounded ends. So if you're not sure if it's a zucchini or a cucumber, just look for the hat. And if it's wearing a hat, then it's a zucchini. If it's not wearing a hat, it's a cucumber. So fun tip of the day. So this is what our salad looks like so far. We're rolling along here. And for added fun, I thought this might be missing something. With a meal, I typically want to look for more balance to it. So we have our protein from the edamame. We have tons of colors and fresh produce in here for our veggies. We have a protein a little bit of everything, but I feel like we might be missing a carbohydrate. So if you're active or if you need a little bit of more energy for the day, you might want to add some type of carbohydrate or some sustained fuel. So I got out some of these noodles. They're soba noodles and they cook really fast. So we're just going to throw some into this pot. One really cool thing about the soba noodles is that they come wrapped like this. So you can see they are all wrapped up and that tells you what the serving is. And then you just undo it and we'll throw it into the pot. We'll let those cook down. And then once that's ready, at the very end, we'll throw everything together. Again, you can leave those out if you don't want those and you just want it to be kind of more like a summer salad. But I do love soba noodles, so I think I'm going to add them in. So we'll go ahead and set this over here and get ready to make the dressing, because what is a salad without its dressing? It is just fruits and vegetables, or this case, no fruit, it's just vegetables, so not quite a salad yet. So we'll throw together our dressing with some of these ingredients. We're going to be using sesame oil, we'll be using soy sauce, some sriracha, maple syrup, rice wine vinegar, lots of really cool things to make this Asian inspired and delicious.
Amazing. Again, we are live on Lunch Break Live. Ryan is a registered dietitian, vegan author, and she specializes in vegan nutrition. Back to you. Take it away.
Ooh, cool. So making the dressing, we have rice wine vinegar here. We're going to use about 2 tablespoons of this. And as I mentioned before, everything is super customizable. So if you don't like a flavor, you can always change it. Or you can add less, or you can add more. Same with the ingredients within the salad. Make it whatever you want. You're the chef in your kitchen, so you get to be the decider on what things you like and what things you don't, and what things you add and what things you don't. So always great to feel that power in the kitchen. So we've got our rice wine vinegar in here, and I'm using a cup for a fun reason that I'll show you once everything's added here, but you can use whatever type of vessel you have. We'll be using some of this sesame oil. You can leave this out if you don't like oil, but it gives it a really nice full flavor, and I really like it. So we'll use about half a teaspoon there of that. Maple syrup to make it sweet. Gotta love the sweetness. Again, if you don't like sweet or you are not wanting to put maple syrup in there, that's perfectly fine. You can use agave if you wanted to. Works the same. We'll use a little bit of soy sauce, so about 1 teaspoon of this. You could add more if you wanted or less. I use the low sodium variety, but what you could do if you are looking to save a little bit of money is on the ingredient list, this is basically just water and everything else that's in regular soy sauce. So you could buy regular soy sauce and then dilute it at home, and then you'd have like double the amount versus just buying like the low sodium. You get a little bit less bang for your buck, but if you don't have a lot of time, this might be a good option. But if you are looking to save a few pennies, then you could use regular and then just dilute it by yourself at home. So we've got that in there. We've got the best ingredient, sriracha. I love sriracha, it's so good, nice and spicy. So we'll use about a teaspoon of this. If you don't like spicy, then you can use less. I noticed when I moved to Arizona, I didn't like spicy, and now I'm like, ooh, let's add spice to this, let's add hot sauce, let's add sriracha, and I don't know what it is about it, but it's so good. So you've got
That's funny. You bring the heat to your dishes, and you're in the heat of the beautiful weather.
yes.
All right, back to you.
Everyone I've met who lives here likes things that are hot, so maybe we just get it from the sun. I don't know, but we all do it. My mom included, so I mean, there's a good case study, 2 out of so many people. So this is what our sauce is looking like so far. Just like a regular dressing. We have, next up is ginger. So this is just ground ginger, and we'll just dump it into our cup here. And that was about probably 1/4 of a teaspoon there. So we have our dressing complete. So it's not a whole lot, but that's okay. The most fun part is I'm going to turn off the soba noodles so I don't overcook them like I do sometimes, you know. So we've got this, and I have this, which is a blender ball, which comes in like a shaker thing if you go to the gym, or you get one of those shaker bottles, this comes in it. But this is a multi-purpose tool that you don't have to only use for protein powder. So what I like to do is, if I'm making sauces, this one doesn't have anything like peanut butter or tahini or any paste-like ingredients, but it does have that ground ginger, and it is a little bit clumpy in there. So what I do is I just take this, I'll put it in there, and I'll get a lid. So these cups are cool, and they have a lid. And then what I'll do is I'll just give it a nice shake with the blender ball in there, and it becomes smooth because it's banging it around, it's really mixing it up well, and it's fun. I think this is really fun. It's like one of those shake weights, but like the kitchen shake weights, but not as heavy. So that looks beautiful. It's nice and smooth. It's aromatic, spicy smelling, of course, and I am really excited to put that on there. So, woohoo! Next up, we'll take the soba noodles. They are cooked and done. I about spilled it on the counter, which wouldn't have been good, but I'm just going to dump it out. I would show you on camera, but it's hot, and I'm afraid I'll burn myself. So we're just rinsing it.
So one of the things we were talking about earlier is how you help people transition if they're curious about going vegan, getting more plants on their plate, and so forth. What do you find is one of the biggest challenges for people?
The biggest challenge is cheese. For most people, it's just they miss cheese and the flavor of cheese. And I didn't think that would be something that was brought up so often, but I think almost every new vegan I've talked to was like, I really miss cheese. And so that's what I work a lot with, is finding different types of cheese or different ways to replace cheese, maybe with cashews or different things that will work, or maybe even different recipes that still have the flavor that they're looking for. Maybe it's just the fermented type of foods for them, or whatever works, because everyone's different. But I think the hardest thing that people have is cheese, which I wasn't expecting.
All right, back to the recipe. I got the noodles are ready. Thanks for that. Yes, I definitely find that people say that as well. Cheese and protein.
Cheese,
In
yeah.
quotes.
Protein, protein's a close one, but I think cheese tops it.
Yeah, so we get to show them all the various ways to make their own and all the options, right?
Yes, so many. I haven't ever successfully made a cheese wheel yet, so that's something I'm looking forward to in the future. Cheese wheel. I can do liquid cheese, but not quite a cheese wheel yet.
Yeah.
Perfect. So we've got our soba noodles here. These are just like noodly, really cool. I don't know if you've ever seen soba noodles before, but they cook so fast. They're so delicious. So we're just going to add them in here. I cooked a little bit too much for this specific recipe, because anytime you're cooking something, you can always make more and save it for later, and that makes your week easier. So like I could use these noodles for, I have kale in the fridge right now too. Maybe I could make a kale and soba noodle salad instead of just making enough for this recipe. I know that doesn't work all the time, but for me, that's what I find to be useful. This is a little bit too hot for my hands. I usually pride myself on my chef hands and how I can handle hot, but these are too much. Okay, cool. So we'll put those in there. We've got our nice noodles, and now I'm going to add the dressing to the top of this and then give it a good stir. So dressing, so good. If you happen to make this and you're not going to eat it right away, don't put the dressing on it right away, because it could get like soggy potentially, or it could change the texture. So I usually just add the dressing right before I'm going to eat it, because I put those noodles in there. If you want it to marinate, it might be okay, but it just depends like what other ingredients you customized it with to see if that would make it potentially soggy, which would be really sad. No soggy noodles.
Now, can you serve this dish warm and cold as well? What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, yeah, you could serve it warm if you wanted to. I've only ever had it cold, but I live in a hot place. So, I mean, if it was cold here, maybe I would be more inclined to make it hot. I think that would, all the ingredients in here can be heated up. So seems doable
And
to
I
me.
understand. Yeah, and I understand you also have some really great group options for people and individual options for people to work with you. But you do have something coming up, is that right?
Yeah, so I do a new vegan coaching. So I have a group coaching program and I also do one-on-one coaching with people. So I have a group going right now. It's always a small group because I want everyone to get the best experience. And if you're in a smaller group, you have the opportunity to speak up and talk about things that maybe you have questions about and you don't feel overwhelmed with the amount of people. So there are usually maximum 6 people for each group. And I have a new one coming out in May. It'll be the middle of May, I believe. It'll be ready.
Amazing. And I want to give you a shout out. She was focused and featured in Women's Health and Business Insider as one of the positive impacting the world, one bite at a time, people on the planet. You're making such an impact. Did you see how quick and easy this recipe is, y'all? Wow. And this is Paige over here with Unchained TV. You're going to find this recipe and thousands of others. Are we complete?
We
Woo!
are done. So really fast. Like I mentioned when we started, I like everything to be quick. I'm a busy person, so the quicker the recipe can be, the better in my opinion. So if you like quick recipes, this will be perfect for you. It's delicious, it's packed with nutrients, and it's so tasty and customizable.
And we want to thank you for joining us here on Lunch Break Live. Find Rhyan at Phoenix Vegan Dietitian or PHX Vegan Dietitian on Instagram as well. Thanks, everybody. We're going to see you next time here on Lunch Break Live. And hi, Tina, and all the other folks that are watching. Please share this out. This is an incredible first time recipe. We've never seen this before. And we just appreciate you all for being here. Thanks again. Bye bye.